The impact of modern technology to the society during the global pandemic. A research presented to the faculty of Taraga Community College of Taraga Albay in partial fulfillment of the requirements for the science, technology, and society by Jessa Andes, Angelika Alejo, and Ladybel Anza. Abstract. The COVID-19 pandemic has led to an inevitable surge in the use of digital technologies due to the social distancing norms and nationwide lockdowns. People and organizations all over the world have had to adjust to new ways of work and life. We explore possible scenarios at the digital surge and the research issues that arise. An increase in digitalization is leading firms and educational institutions to shift to work from home or WFH. Blockchain technology will become important and will entail research on design and regulations. Gig workers and the gig economy is likely to increase in scale, raising questions of work allocation, collaboration, motivation, and aspects of work overload and presentism. Workplace monitoring and techno-stress issues will become prominent with an increase in digital presence. Online fraud is likely to grow, along with research on managing security. The regulation of the Internet, a key source, will be crucial post-pandemic. This research may address the consequences and causes of the digital divide, further the issues of net neutrality and zero rating plans with merit scrutiny. A key research issue will also be the impact and consequences of internet shutdowns frequently resorted to by countries. Digital money, too, assumes importance in crisis situations, and research will address their adoption, consequences, and mode. Aspects of surveillance and privacy gain importance with increased digital usage. The introduction. By late May 2020, at the time of writing of this article, over 200 countries and territories in the world were affected by the coronavirus pandemic. This included most urban clusters and even rural regions. With the spread of the pandemic, almost all regions have implemented lockdowns, shutting down activities that require human gathering and interactions, including colleges, schools, malls, temples, offices, airports, and railway stations. The lockdown has resulted in most people taking to the internet and internet-based services to communicate, interact, and continue with their job responsibilities from home. Internet services have seen rises in usage from 40% to 100% compared to pre-lockdown levels. Video conferencing services like Zoom have seen a 10 times increase in usage, and content delivery services like Akamai have seen a 30% increase in content usage by Branscombe 2020. Cities like Bangalore have seen a 100% increase in internet traffic. The lockdowns across countries have entailed a rise in the use of information systems and networks, with massive changes in usage patterns and usage behaviors. Employees are adjusting to new normal with meetings going completely online, office work shifting to the home with new emerging patterns of work. These changes have come across most organizations, whether in business, society, or government. The changes have also come suddenly with barely any time for organizations and people to plan for. prepare and implement new setups and arrangements. They have had to adjust, try, experiment, and find ways that did not exist before. Though now, in late May 2020, the pandemic is receding and stabilized in certain countries, it is still on the increase in many others, and with serious threats. Experts in most countries are wary of the possibility of the disease spread re-emerging and that lockdown norms may be relaxed carefully and slowly with social distancing at the core of the new normal. It is in this context that we see the use of information systems to continue in the same vein for some time in the foreseeable future as during the lockdown. We examine the possible scenarios and this surge in information technology usage during and post the pandemic. Our estimation of these effects assumes that there was a digital transformation already underway before the pandemic set in, and it will take certain forms owing to the impact of the lockdowns. In the next section, we examine the impact of the COVID 19 pandemic on the use of digital technologies, where we discuss some possible scenarios and research issues of the post-pandemic world rather. The next section summarizes the implications for research and practices, and in the last section, we present our conclusions. The method of the research. This study determined what are the impacts that encountered by many people in modern technology. This served as basis for determining the impact of modern technology to the society during the global pandemic, as well as to recognize what are the possible reasons why the pandemic affected the spread of modern technology. This descriptive method of research was used in gathering the needed information for this study. It is quantitative type of research since it includes an analysis in which the data for impact of modern technology to the society during global pandemic were gathered by way of asking them questions using the questionnaire. As the study will pursue an interview schedule type of survey, the researchers will use simple random sampling. The random sampling process will be answered through online survey. The research instrument be used is the questionnaire, which is the combined type will gather responses. The instrument used in the research is questionnaire because it is easier to use in extracting information for data collection. A questionnaire to be answered by the respondents in online. The questionnaire was self-administrated. The first part of the questionnaire guide will focus on the demographic profile of the students, including their name, age, gender, and section. The second part will be answered by the respondents corresponding to their answers. The third part also answered by checking the box. Discussion. There is no doubt that one of the most significant impacts of COVID-19 is on the way we work. So far, the pandemic has shown that many of us are able to work from home effectively than we previously believed was possible. More and more companies are investing in cloud solutions, video conferencing, and communication tools to permit home-based interaction. One benefit to all of humankind is the overlap with personal, non-work related interactions, for example, family Zoom parties. This pandemic has caused substantial disruptions in the domestic economy as community restrictions have limited movement of people and reduced business operations nationwide. As we are now living with the new normal, the use of digital technology and digital transformation have become important for Filipinos in coping with the present crisis, moving towards economic recovery, and getting us back on track towards our long term aspirations. The use of digital technologies in the Philippines, however, is still below its potential, with the country's digital adoption generally, generally trailing behind many regional neighbors. The digital divide between those with and without internet leads to unequal access to social services and life changing economic opportunities. To temporarily divert the attention of the people from the psychological pressures due to the negative news brought by the pandemic, the use of emerging technologies such as YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok have been the gateways for them to socialize in the virtual world. Lastly, this is the references of our research.